Black Friday used to be a single day of deals. Then the discounts started creeping into Thanksgiving, then the whole holiday week, and now it seems like the entire month of November is full of Black Friday sales. Well, this year, retail giants like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy have already had deals up for days, making it that much harder for mom and pop shops to compete. Now, when you factor in inflation, which is the rising costs of supplies and shrinking customer budgets, well, how can small business owners keep up? To answer that question, I'm joined by Nancy Nicosia, a co-partner of the SOA Winter Festival, where she sells small batch olive oil that her family makes from olives that they grow in Italy. And Malia Lazu. She is the MIT lecturer and steering committee member of the nonprofit Small Business Strong. Thank you so much for being with us today, everybody. So, Nancy, I want to start with you. When you see Black Friday, it seems like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and now it seems like the deals are all year round. How do you think about the holiday season nowadays?
Well, I do think that discourages and hurts small businesses tremendously, which is one of the reasons that we started the SOA Winter Festival. We have SOA open Sundays through the end of October, and then it always felt like a little bit of a letdown because then there wasn't anything going on until May. So we developed the Winter Festival to fill that void, and we found that the artisans and small businesses have just been overly excited about it. They're all happy to be there every year, and they keep coming back.
Yeah. Malia, you say that really small businesses need to stick together.
I think the SOA market is a great example of this, right? How do small businesses come together to support one another, to promote the idea of small business as Christmas giving, right? As appropriate gifts. And I think we're starting to see that where people want to be able to support small businesses. We know a majority of consumers will pay more for a product that aligns with their values and that they care about. We know people care about, shopping local and supporting local. And so I think, the more that small businesses can support one another in taking on these bigger companies, the more success that they'll see.
And I think marketing, especially like having something handcrafted from someone who is making these, really has its own appeal rather than maybe something mass produced you buy at a big store, right, Nancy?
Yes, it does. And actually, we've seen a tremendous growth in young people's interest in that sort of product. They'd much rather buy a small gift for a friend or a family member, pay a little extra and have it be unique.
How has inflation and folks' budgets and things like that really affected your business and the folks at the marketplace there?
Well, I think during COVID, we all felt that effect, small businesses in particular, but there was also a move during that time to support local businesses. So in some ways, it might have been a little helpful.
Malia, I'm thoughtful of sometimes it's easy to just shop online for the big box stores, but it's also an experience when you go to a small local shops. Do you think that sometimes folks are opting to have the experience of shopping again now that we are years away from removed from the pandemic?
Absolutely. I think people are seeing these markets, the winter market that SOA is doing, other artisans do markets. There's also large companies. I know State Street does a market with small women and minority businesses. And so this idea of coming together, getting some hot cocoa and finding out about the olive oil, right? Because then when you pass it on to your friend, you're an olive oil connoisseur.
Connoisseur, yeah.
You're able to say, oh no, and this was the special kind of da-da-da-da-da. Stories matter, right? Narratives matter, especially when you're giving a gift that's supposed to mean something. And I think, I agree with Nancy. We're seeing that young people care about these stories, but really people care about these stories. So yes, does everyone want to get the, discount on the 42-inch, or 60-inch, whatever the TVs are now? Absolutely. But a lot of folks want to have something that's going to mean something to people. And that's what small businesses allow for.
Do you think that the advent or the rise of social media and influencers help or hinder small businesses?
Oh, I think it's tremendous help. And also events like the markets help to expose them. And so they can give samples, they can show their product, and that helps with the rest of the year with their online presence as well.
What do you think, Malia? Social media influencers, sometimes they have these storefronts that they're pushing and things like that. Does that help or hinder, small business owners?
I think it helps. I think especially if it's done responsibly. I mean, sometimes the last thing a small business needs is, Beyonce to wear their shoes, right? If they don't actually, if they're not ready for that kind of for that kind of consumer response. So, I think if you are an influencer and if you find a brand and if you want to love that brand, give the brand a heads up. Let them know you are going to be promoting them, that they can expect to see an increase in their sales so that they can, support that. What we see a lot in Small Business Strong and MCCI that also supports small businesses is that sometimes growth and too much love can be hard for small businesses. So definitely influencers can help. And I think they don't only help to send consumers, but also to, again, have this story. Would you rather have your friend give you a $5 shirt from H&M or an $8 pin or an $8, something from an artist, something that's been made with love? And I think the narrative of I'd rather have something that's made with love is a narrative that we also need influencers to be sharing. Not everyone needs a Prada bag this Christmas. Some people can pick up a great, bag at SOA Market for this winter market.
You mentioned, folks will spend money if it has a story, if it supports their values. They'll spend a little bit more on something that's handcrafted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the very idea of not shopping box stores is part of the alignment as well, right? So what you see is it's over 80% of global consumers are willing to spend more for companies that align with their values. And what do a majority of consumers care about right now? The environment, right? They care about fairness. They care about equity. And for a lot of small businesses, I mean, I think it's the stat I saw from Forbes was 8 out of 10 small businesses have one employee only. So when you worry about things like the climate, when you worry about things like equity, you have a chance to support small businesses that are really growing and not centering profits in the same way. We know that small businesses support their workers in greater ways. They tend to keep workers for longer when they can. And so there's a lot about that story of small business that fits into the narrative that a lot of people want to see themselves as consumers.
And Nancy, I'm sure a lot of folks would rather want to buy and gift your olive oil than say, some name brand that they get at, Stop and Shop or something like that.
Yeah, and I have found the secret is giving people samples so they can try it. And then they're willing to buy it. It's hard to spend $30 on a bottle of olive oil, handcrafted or otherwise, if you haven't tried it. So that is one of the things that makes the market so special, is allowing people to do that.
Do you find that in-person experience is critical to making your sales?
Yes, absolutely. I often have my daughter helping me, and so it's good to have a second person to also discuss the olive oil and the process. And people are so intrigued by olive oil. It's really it's so rewarding for me, because we didn't start selling olive oil for business. We started because of our passion for it. And so that really makes it special for us.
Do you find with the holiday season feeling like it's coming sooner and sooner, we were talking about this off camera, that helps with sales?
Tremendous help with sales. Last year I sold out at the Winter Festival, which I've never done before. Lots of people are buying it for their dads for some reason. There's something about dads and olive oil that they just love it. So, and they can leave the market also with a nice gift wrapped package. Most of the vendors have special packaging, and so it just makes it so much easier for everybody as well. And the other thing is, we also offer the experience of, we have the mezzanine with music and a bar, and we have Thayer Street with fire pits and food trucks. So it's a whole nice, like, continuation of the Thanksgiving feeling and going right into a Christmas feeling, that you can spend that time with friends and family instead of waiting in line at a store.
Yeah. Malia, if you can't get to a stall at the SoWa market and you're a small business owner and you want to generate the traffic, right? Because a lot of times you're really grinding when you have a small business. What do you advise small businesses to do to still capture that spirit of the holiday rush and the sales and things like that?
I think that there's the SoWa market, there's Black Market, right? There's a lot of markets that are out there. But just because you're not able to get a stall, it doesn't mean that you can't participate in it. And when you look at places like Nubian Square, different squares, see where you can get yourself. Call Main Streets in Boston. We have a wonderful Main Streets program, which, helps small businesses get set up and get established. And so reach out to them. But don't be, I know it's a hustle and, you get tired and where can I set up? But there are places, and you can try again next year for one of the markets. Maybe you can partner with someone and they can also sell some of your stuff at their stall if it's a complimentary product. So as I said before, I think it's just so important for small businesses to get creative, stick together, and if you can't get into a market, it doesn't mean you still can't find places where people congregate to let them know about your wonderful products, and places like Dudley Cafe. There's a lot of spots that are open to this kind of creativity.
And teaming up with maybe larger stores as well if you're a small business.
Absolutely. And, I think one of the things that we just think about stores as a place for purchase, but I'm also a big believer into going to where people are at. And there is nothing more powerful than like mom circles, right? Different groups of folks that come together to be in social and societal, to be together in those kinds of ways. And, I'm a big believer in mommy blogs. I think reaching women, especially with so many women wanting to make a difference in, and for their children and everything, these can be places that you can reach out and say, hey, I have this great product. I would love to tell you about it. A lot of times churches as well, maybe, doing some type of affair. So you can get really creative and find and go to where you think your audience and your consumers are at. And, the worst you can hear is no. And if you're an entrepreneur in small business, that word means nothing.
I know that's right. That's true. All right. Well, Nancy and Malia, thank you so much for your time. I know I'm going to get my list together and be shopping small this holiday season.
And Crystal, are we getting some olive oil? Because I think we should get some olive oil.
We're going to have to go down to before it sells out, right? We have to go down there before it sells out.
Absolutely. I'll send you some.
All right. Perfect.